Hello everyone, how are you? As you may know, I got my degree in cell biology and genetics, and combined with learning some programming and my interest in Arduino and robotics, I decided to put those together this week and create Flembot. Come on in, Flembot. There, look at that. That's Flembot for you. Give it a little wave, Flembot. Yeah. So Flembot, I created because I know a lot of you guys are working from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning, and I just, I need to get my sleep. So Flembot is going to be taking over during that time, so you might be getting this week some messages from Flembot, okay? A few other things, during the day, doesn't need to sleep, that Flembot. I've got him doing some chores, so he's cleaning, he's doing some cooking, he's doing some, yes. Play with you? A little busy, but Flembot could help you out. What do you think, Flembot? Yeah, why don't you go play with Flembot? Go play with Flembot! Okay. So go play with Flembot. Yeah. Oh, Flembot is amazing. But let me know if there's any bugs or any issues. Let me know. But otherwise, he might be on the board helping you out this week. Have a great week. See ya.
Warning: Flembot 0.1 is in beta testing. Use at your own risk. Hello, just a short lesson on formatting the worksheet, which is lesson 4. This is not too bad. I mean, it goes through really no formulas, although I would say conditional formatting has a little bit of a formula bent to it, but it's definitely not using formulas. So it's pretty straightforward, just making sure that you know how to make your spreadsheet look good. And a lot of it has to do with, making sure your numbers look good. So if you want commas, if you want dollar signs, it goes through a balance sheet if you've ever done any accounting. And so it just sort of shows you how to nicely format that. A lot of it, I think it's just sort of making sure you understand what's going on. So if I just open up Excel here very quickly, one thing that maybe is a little bit confusing is right here. This is where when it talks about, opening up the number format sort of box, right? There's a dialog box that pops up, looking a little bit old school and letting you get into the exact, formatting that you want. One of those things, of course, is the, using the comma as a separator. Traditionally, you don't do that in math, but it makes it a little bit easier to read when you're doing it on a spreadsheet and so on. So that's part of it there. Pretty straightforward to do that. There is, it goes through, being able to increase and decrease the decimals. Generally, when you're doing formatting, of money or whatever, you'll often have, I don't know, I'm just putting in some numbers here. Something like this. Actually, let's make this a sum. Okay, of those. Generally, what you would do if this was currency, the top one would have, say, the dollar sign on it. These two here would just have, sort of a number, and maybe with the commas, but not with the dollar sign. And then down here at the total, you'd also have the currency with the dollar sign, and then also sort of set aside with using these borders, and generally these top and then double bottom border to show that it's a total there. So that's very typical formatting for spreadsheets, and it goes through that process there. I've never found use for the formatting. I've always seen this here, this orientation, but you can angle text for some reason. Hello. I thought that was kind of interesting because I never knew it was there. But again, I don't know why you'd really use that, but maybe make your spreadsheet look interesting. So yeah, I mean, those are there. Changing fonts and so on. I mean, this is nothing that you haven't done. Increase, decreasing, and so on. So I don't think that's too difficult. Format Painter works the same as it does in Word, so that you could either click it once, and therefore the formatting change would occur only once. So if I had something here, how are you? If I click the Format Painter to click it once, then I can do it on the one, but then it ceases to work anymore. If I double click, then it gives me the advantage of being able to click on multiple ones and make the changes. And obviously if I want to get rid of it, just click it back on there and you're fine. What else was there? Oh, cell styles. And so this varies. You might have it looking like this. It might, and I don't know why it just suddenly changed, because I guess it depends. There are some, changes, I guess, in the views. If you need to see more, if yours is coming like that, just click on this and you're able to view the ones that you'll need to for the styles. Like even some of these currency ones are right here. So if I clicked on this, and that's really the more, I could do currency, and you can just sort of see without decimals, with decimals, just commas, commas with decimals, right? So that actually helps you out quite a bit too, depending on what you're doing there. Okay, and just be careful as you're reading through, right? This is going to be titles, headings, and then heading 3 or whatever you need to do. Okay, so that's a little bit tricky. It might show up as just a box, because that's what it did when I was doing the Jasperactive. I guess it really depends on how big these things are and what else you have in your ribbon here. If this shows up as just sort of format style, I think it was, or if it shows up like this. But regardless, when you click on this, it does the same thing. Different ways to clear. It goes through how to clear either with the delete, clearing all the formats. Basically, the idea is if you press the delete key or you clear contents, they are the same thing. Okay, we'll go through that with you. Really, just jumping back to these styles, the reason that you're using the styles is to maintain consistency across your spreadsheets so that they kind of look the same. The one last thing that I'll mention is, with these conditional formatting, this lets you add a bit of visual, grab to it, if like, highlighting things. And so it goes through in here being able to highlight certain cells. So if I sort of take all of this and I go conditional formatting, highlight cells that are, say, greater than, and then I could type in a number, right, greater than 1,000, and then I can change it with whatever color I need to. Okay, then of course it would highlight those, and then you could do, again, highlighting all of these. You could add multiple rules, conditional formatting, highlight cells that are less than, let's say 500, and again you could change it with the color. You can also do the custom color, so it goes into that. And now it highlights those ones, okay? So those are quite useful if you just want it to visually grab whatever information on your spreadsheet there. Otherwise, I think it's pretty straightforward. So this week being a short week, and then also having a long weekend, because Friday is theoretically a professional day, and then Monday is the holiday there. I'll just assign this one this week, and hopefully you don't have too much problems with it. Okay, good luck.